Jury is present in the courtroom. We will note for the record. Mr. Wolford, I understand you are the jury foreperson.
Yes, sir.
And the court has received a message on behalf of the jury that the jury has reached a verdict in this case. Is this true?
This is correct.
Is this decision a unanimous one? That is one that is agreed upon by all members of the jury.
That's correct.
And do any of the jurors disagree with your foreperson's representations? No disagreement. It does indeed appear to be unanimous. God bless you. If you would be so kind, pass the documents to the bailiff. You may be seated, Mr. Wolford. I will review for proper form and publish the verdict on behalf of the jury. And the defendant shall rise. In cause number 24, CR-1535, the state of Texas versus Deonte Devon Sustad. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of the offense of deadly conduct by discharge of a firearm as charged by the indictment. This is signed by the jury foreperson. It is received. It is made a part of the record for all purposes. In this case, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I received your verdict finding the defendant guilty of this third-degree felony of deadly conduct by discharge of a firearm. That brings us to a close of phase one of this bifurcated two-part jury system. At this time, we are going to move forward and proceed with the punishment phase of the trial. And I want to repeat once again that you will be under all the instructions previously given to you in this case. Let me see the lawyers up here for just a second. Thank you.
The courtroom falls into a tense silence as the jury files back in. After hours of deliberation, 12 citizens are about to reveal a decision that could permanently change a man's future. The judge confirms what everyone in the room has been waiting to hear. The jury has reached a unanimous verdict. In the case of the state of Texas versus Deonte Devon Sustad, the stakes revolve around a serious accusation: deadly conduct by discharging a firearm.
Show that the jury is in the courtroom. All parties are present. Mr. Wolford, on behalf of the jury as foreperson, we've received a message that the jury has reached a verdict in the second or punishment phase of the trial. Is that so, sir?
That's correct.
Is this verdict a unanimous one? That is one that is agreed upon by all members of the jury.
That's correct.
Do any of the jurors challenge the representation of your jury foreperson? There is no disagreement. It does indeed appear to be unanimous. As before, if you would be so kind, pass the documents to the bailiff. You may be seated. The court will review for proper form and publish the verdict. Thank you. And the defendant shall rise. In cause number 24, CR-1535, the state of Texas versus Deonte Devon Sustad. We, the jury, find the defendant has not been convicted of any previous felony offenses as alleged in the indictment, and assess his punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 10 years. That is the sentence of the jury signed by the foreperson. You may be seated. Thank you. And it is received and made a part of the record for all purposes. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this time, the court has received your verdict, not only finding the defendant guilty, but assessing his punishment of 10 years imprisonment. And at the beginning of this trial, I placed you under a number of instructions. At this time, I am releasing you from all those instructions. However, one additional item. Once you are discharged, you are released from your oath of secrecy. You are free to discuss this case and your deliberations with anyone. You are also free to refuse to discuss this case and have every right to maintain your silence unless otherwise ordered to do so by the court. In a little bit of time, the attorneys are going to be discharged. And they always like to speak to jurors to get input and feedback if you wish. They'll be out there in about 5 or 10 minutes. And they always appreciate any input they get from jurors. But Also, you're free to leave. And I want to thank you for your service as jurors. And we talk about self-governance, and that's the way this country works. Without good, fair people coming forward, the Constitution does not work. So I want to thank you so much for your attention, your time and investment, and your citizenship. I hope to have the honor to work with you in the future. Until then, may God continue to bless Jefferson County and her citizens. And you are excused. And alternates, thank you very much for holding vigil. Make sure that your badges are left with us. We don't want to find those at Rayo's or somewhere. We get them at a lot of restaurants. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You are excused. And again, the lawyers are going to be out in about 5 minutes. Thank you.
What unfolded in this courtroom was a complete example of how a Texas felony trial moves from accusation to final sentencing through a jury-driven process. The case, formerly titled the State of Texas versus Deonte Devon Sustad, centered on a charge of deadly conduct by discharge of a firearm, a third-degree felony offense under Texas law. Prosecutors allege that the defendant's actions involving a firearm created a dangerous situation serious enough to meet the legal definition of deadly conduct. In criminal law, that charge does not necessarily require that someone be injured. Rather, it focuses on whether a firearm was discharged in a way that placed others at substantial risk of serious harm. The trial followed the standard two-phase structure used in Texas criminal courts. In the first phase, often called the guilt, innocence phase, the jury's only responsibility is to determine whether the prosecution has proven the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. After hearing the evidence, arguments, and instructions from a court, the jury left the courtroom to deliberate. When they returned, the foreperson confirmed that their decision was unanimous, a requirement in criminal trials for a valid verdict. The judge then read the verdict aloud into the record. The jury found the defendant guilty of deadly conduct by discharge of a firearm as charged in the indictment. That announcement legally established the conviction and concluded the first phase of the trial. However, under Texas law, a guilty verdict in a felony case often leads directly into a second phase where the same jury determines punishment. If you want more real courtroom breakdowns and true crime legal analysis like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.